Cyrus Jirongo is dead. Authorities say it was a road accident, but the timeline raises questions. And when politics, power, and unanswered gaps meet, silence is not an option. This is the Civic Lens. Cyrus Jirongo was not an ordinary politician. He was a powerful political figure, deeply connected within Kenya's political establishment. The leader of the famous YK-92, a two-time member of parliament for Lugari, and former minister very close to the late second president of the Republic, His Excellency Daniel Moi. The then-current President Ruto was working closely with him as his handman. Over time, that relationship reportedly shifted from cooperation to rivalry. In Kenyan politics, such transitions matter. They shape alliances, tensions, and sometimes public suspicion. That context is important, not to accuse, but to understand why his death draws national attention.
Wewe ujichunge sana hiyo mdomo yako, na ukishindwa tutakuonyesha kuizima. Sisi hatuogopi hata kidogo.
What then disturbed me most is when she received this message, which she forwarded to me. My daughter is not in politics.
No.
So why is she supposed to keep quiet?
Mdomo yako, who is that?
That message was actually meant for me. That my feeling that I might be actually a target for assassination.
So are you worried? Bottom line, are you worried?
Jeff, you cannot be quite comfortable in situations like this. Yeah. And we have had Muchai being assassinated. We've had Juma the other day being assassinated. And we've seen historically assassinations taking place, even at the time of Ouko. Yeah. We have to be worried with the creeping back of political assassinations purposely to either kill information on white-collar economic crimes or silence opponents.
According to official reports, Cyrus Jirongo died in a road accident. Road accidents are tragically common in Kenya, and many lives are lost every year in similar circumstances. Over 4,458 road accident fatalities recorded so far in 2025, compared to 4,311 last year. On the surface, this explanation appears straightforward. And if events aligned cleanly, the story would likely end there. But this case did not end quietly.
On Friday evening, I went to a place called Oasis in Karen at around 8 p.m. 8:30. As I drove in, I saw Mheshimiwa Jirongo seated with Mheshimiwa Speaker of the National Assembly, Wetangula, and two other gentlemen, one who I know, the other one I didn't know. The other one is Rebman Malala, who is the owner of that premise. I'm still here, but Mheshimiwa Wetangula has left. I'm still with the other two gentlemen that you saw. So the following day, we were supposed to have a lunch meeting, him, myself, and Mheshimiwa Philip Kisia, at Mheshimiwa Philip Kisia's house on Saturday, yesterday at 1. So I told him, I can see you're staying out late and we have an important meeting. Can you go home? Just jokingly. And we joked and we left it at that. This was exactly 11.
He mentioned to me that he was going to leave Nairobi. And as I said, I spoke to him at 9:07.
At 3:23 p.m., I told you, his wife called me, Anne, and informed me about this accident. So I told Anne, but no, at 11, he was in Karen. How is he now in and he told me he was coming home, you know? How is he now in an accident in Naivasha? And she said, I don't know. Here is a gentleman in Karen, retiring to go to his house to sleep, prepare for the meeting that I was supposed to have with him the following day. And now he's in an accident in Naivasha. And in Naivasha, not Nakuru bound, but Nairobi bound. You know, it is a mystery that I can't unravel.
By approximately 8:30 p.m., Cyrus Jirongo was reportedly with friends in Oasis restaurant in Karen, Nairobi. Accounts indicate that he bid them goodbye around 11:30, suggesting he was retiring to his home in Gigiri, which is approximately 21 kilometers, a 33-minute drive away from his current location. That moment matters, because hours later, he was involved in a fatal accident in Naivasha, 86 kilometers away from Oasis, in the opposite direction to his home, a distance of approximately 107 kilometers from his home. 1.5 to 2 hours drive away from his previous location, very far from where one would reasonably expect him to be if he were heading home in Gigiri because he had scheduled very important meetings the following day, according to his brother. This is where questions begin. Why was he traveling toward Naivasha at that hour? What changed after 11:30 p.m.? Who last spoke to him? What route was taken, and why? These are not accusations. They are legitimate public interest questions. When timelines do not align, citizens have a right to clarity.
Na kitu ambayo inafanya tusikie vibaya ni namna kifo yake ilitokea. Kuna watu, marafiki zetu na mandugu, wale walikuwa na Jirongo, Karen, dakika ya mwisho saa 6:30. Wale waliwachana na yeye saa hizo, na wale walikuwa na yeye hapo Karen kabla aondoke hapo. Watueleze. They must also come out clear. Wajielezee vizuri mpaka ieleweke. Kwa sababu hamwezi kana mtu natoke peke yake na ajui watu wanaenda nyumbani na yeye anapita naenda Nakuru. Alifaa kuja hapa nyumbani. Ilipatikanaje Cyrus ako Nakuru County?
Kama huu najiunga na viongozi vile vile kuuliza Wakenya wanataka kujua ukweli. Je, hii ilikuwa ni ajali ya kawaida ama ni ajali ambayo imebuniwa na watu fulani? So unaweza kutumia vyombo hivi na kupanga mambo hatari. Hatusemi kwamba hivyo ndilivyofanyika, lakini tunataka ukweli ujulikane, udhihirike wazi. Tunaweza tu kuwa banked off, kuwa taken out, and life continues. We owe it to our brother Cyrus Jirongo kufuatilia kwa umakini sana swala hili, na sio tu accept and move on.
So Kenyans are asking, who are the last people to be seen with Cyrus Jirongo? Why are they quiet? Mostly they were his kinsmen, people he trusted, people he knew. Why are they quiet? We haven't heard them give a good account.
Speculation does not emerge from nowhere. It grows in the absence of clear, timely, and transparent information. In politically sensitive cases, silence creates room for rumor. This is not about conspiracy theories. It is about trust. And trust weakens when explanations leave critical gaps. And this is something the late CJ had previously experienced and even talked about in the past on national television.
Victim of attempted assassination.
Yourself.
Myself. And that led me into looking at several assassinations that we have had in this country. For instance, we lost George Muchai in a serious, brutal murder on a street that you do not expect an amateur to try and kill a man of the stature of George Muchai, given that he had 2 security officers in his car, and that the precision with which the operation was undertaken, it is obviously murder or an assassination. For that, the execution was perfect. But look at the way it is handled. Simple. First of all, we are told George Muchai had land issues, George Muchai had court issues. You told even a member of the family. Typical. An assassination in Kenya, its anatomy is simple. You are either standing on a path for somebody who holds a certain political office, or there is an economic crime that needs to be covered, and you have that information, and you are letting the public know. So what do? First of all, that situation exists. You are gunned down. Secondly, you hear a story of a woman somewhere. Then there'll be, of course, to cause confusion, then there'll be a story of money and a business deal somewhere. And then thereafter the police will come up with some very stupid explanation of what happened. And thereafter you will hear the police have arrested somebody, taken to court, and then pack him there. You'll never hear of the story again. The issue of assassination is creeping back into Kenya to silence those of different political opinion, or those that are releasing information that might make certain individuals culpable of economic crimes. Now, thereafter, that explanation comes up, it doesn't make sense. Then, or somebody is killed, you hear certain criminals were gunned down, you are told a gun was recovered, and the casings that we had found at the scene of crime tally with the gun that should have been used in that murder. And then somehow the media is manipulated and the people forget about you.
This case is not only about Cyrus Jirongo, it reflects a wider problem in our political culture. Unexplained or poorly explained deaths of influential figures, followed by public silence. In a functioning democracy, citizens are not asked to simply move on. They are given answers. No one should be declared guilty without evidence, but no question should be dismissed simply because it is uncomfortable. If this was purely a tragic accident, transparency will put the matter to rest. If not, silence will only deepen mistrust. This is not about rumor. It is about truth. This is the Civic Lens. Politics. No filters, no apologies.